Okay, so okay.
Hello, Brigitte, I'm here, and my team.
Okay, so what's going on? You don't have a camera?
One minute, let me switch.
No, I'm asking about your team. Where's the camera for them?
They are coming.
Okay, great. Did everybody try to do a session, a mock session?
Yes, well, we had 2 times rehearsal.
Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I can see that Namangan did a session. I'm hoping Andijan did. Okay, Andijan, we can take your question now. Please go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. Okay, so there's a question from Andijan.
Assalomu alaykum, hurmatli jamoa. Xayrli kech, hurmatli Brigitta xonim. Men Boltaboyeva Hilola, fasilitatorman. Hozir mana bu ilovani o'rganish jarayonida bu yerda yozilganki, ayollarni alohida, erkaklarni alohida ikkita fasilitator ishlaydi. Bu yerda tushunishimizcha bir 2 kun nimada ham keyincharoq o'zlarini vaqtiga qarab aytilgan vaqtda kelib amalga oshirsam bo'laveradi deb nima qilingan. Shuni ikkalasini bir kunda bugun to'plab hammasini chaqirib.
No, go ahead.
Shu biz endi borib ishlaydigan mana bu karantin nimani COVID-19 nimani inobatga olgan holda shu hammani to'plamay bugungi shu har bitta ko'chadan ikkitadan bir ayol bir erkakni to'plab hammasini bir kunda bugunda o'tkazsak bo'laveradimi, ayol ham erkakni ham odamni ko'paytirmasdan degan xulosani kelib shundan bir qator oldinglardan yana bir qator sizga savol bilan chiqayotgandik. Sharoiti bo'lmagan holda keyincharoq ham ishlasa bo'laveradi deb yozilganligi uchun shuni bir so'rab qo'yaylik dedik.
Okay, so let me answer. First of all, you're not doing any well-being session, right? You're only doing the seasonal calendar today. That's number 1. Number 2, I already asked you to invite 6 to 8 people that are seasonal workers, right? So you don't need any MDU members. You just need, I don't want you to do this with the MDU members unless they are seasonal workers, okay? This doesn't make any sense. All the people that are the participants of your session have to have the same work. There cannot be one that's a teacher or one that's a doctor, right? They have to all be seasonal agricultural laborers, okay? And I already asked you people to invite 6 to 8 people. You don't need the MDU members there today at all. You just need to work with 6 to 8, and actually they should be men, okay? Because men have different work often than women, and you can do it separately with women, But if you don't have women, that's fine. You can just do it with men. But if you have women, then you need to do it separately. It cannot be together. And you do not need the MDU members there. You need 6 to 8 people that are seasonal wage workers. That's it. That people that work in agriculture, and sometimes they go work in construction. Okay. Okay. Any other, do you have any other questions? And does that answer your question, what I just said? So you're
Bizni
not,
hududda
go ahead.
rahmat javob bera olmaysiz. Rahmat javob qoniqish hosil qildim. Rahmat javobingiz uchun. Bizni hududda mavsumiy ishga chiqadigan ayollar ham bor-da. Shuning uchun shularni ham taklif qilib, shular bilan ham suhbat o'tkazsak bo'laveradimi degan savol ham tug'ildi hozir sizning gapingizdan keyin.
Can, but you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. You didn't invite them yet. So it's going to be difficult to invite them on no notice. See who comes to your meeting and try to have it with just men or just women or both separate, okay? I mean, don't invite new people now, okay? Okay. Any other questions from you? From your Andijan team?
Rahmat, tushunarli. Yana
Okay.
bitta savol bor, hozir yana bitta savol bor. Anjomda.
Brigitta xonim, menda savol bor edi. Savolim quyidagicha.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Misol siz 6 ta, 7 ta, 6 ta, 8 ta atrofida odam jalb qilinglar mavsumiy ishchi deyapsiz. Bunda gender tengligi masalasini hisobga olaylikmi yoki yo'qmi? Bu bir. Ikkinchi savolim shundan iboratki,
No, you're not. Right now, you're just trying to do a seasonal calendar as easy as possible. And right now in this training, you're doing a seasonal calendar with men. Don't worry about gender right now. This is about you learning how to do an exercise well. Okay? We can always do it later. Someone can do the exercise with women. Don't worry about gender. This is not about that right now. We're training right now. We're learning an exercise. Okay?
tushunarli. Agar vaqtingiz bo'lganda, hozir bevosita tushuntirish jarayonida nimaga ayollar bilan erkaklarni alohida o'tkazish tavsiya qilinayotganini bir ma'no nozikligi jihatidan bir izohlab bersangiz, haligi yana ham tushunishimiz uchun. Rahmat.
Because men and women often do different types of work, even in agriculture, yeah? Men and women do different types of work. Women are most likely not going to also be involved in construction, but maybe going to a factory, right? So you're talking apples and oranges. If you do this exercise, trust me, it just makes it very, very difficult. Unless you are really experienced, you cannot do this exercise with people who have different work, okay? So just trust me on that. It has to be done separate, okay? Are women working in construction on construction sites in your country?
Misol bizda shaxsan men kuzatgan tumanlarda ishlaydi. Men hattoki o'sha g'isht pishiruvchi sexlarda ishlovchi ayollarni ham o'zim bevosita guvohi bo'lganman. Eng og'ir mehnat bilan ham shug'ullanuvchilar bor qishloqlarda. Keyin yana bitta savol tug'ildi Brigitta xonim, albatta to'g'ri tushunasiz degan umiddaman, chunki men bevosita qishloq aholisini o'rniga o'zimni qo'yib savol berishga harakat qilyapman. Misol qishloq infratuzilmasini rivojlantirishga bevosita bugungi o'tkazadigan tahlilimizni qanaqa darajada aloqasi bor? Shuni bir soddaroq tilda tushuntirib bersangiz iloji boricha. Ular bor tilda. Tasavvur qiling, men qishloq aholisi vakiliman, sizga shu savolni berdim.
Well, I mean, it's already there in the objective, yeah? You're trying to understand the seasonality of labor. How do you know right now when to go to village when people are not harvesting, how to schedule your activities? You don't even know what is going on in the agricultural cycle. If you want to plan the next 4 or 5 months of your activities in the village, don't you think you need to know when people are busy and when they're not busy? Okay, so that's the first point. That's one of the objectives, is to understand the agricultural cycle so that you know that in certain months people are extremely busy harvesting either the cotton or harvesting rice or planting something, right? And this you are not able to go at that time and meet people, because it looks to me like 50% of almost every village is low income people. So if you go, that are doing field work. So if you go and start doing work and exercises and meetings, you will not be able to have those people present because they're working. So it's for you to better understand when is a good time for you to have intensive activities in the village and when is it not a good time. That's the first point. And the other point is that it helps us to understand the livelihood strategies of 50% of the people. Yeah, because we are working with them. We're trying to understand what are people's lives like in the village? What are the things most important? So when we actually do the QDP, we can begin to see the economic situation that people are in. There's a relationship between all these things. Okay, so you are trying to educate yourself about the village. Okay. Go ahead and do follow-up question if you have it.
Brigitte, just to add, if I can.
Sure.
So regarding here, the facilitator from Andijan, he raised the issue about the women in construction. It happens, but very rare. I mean, mostly women are doing field work. So they are harvesting, they are planting, they are doing like different types of work in the fields. So so yeah, some of them, they can work in textile factories and etc., but not always. And just for our facilitators, when we were in Namangan, I spoke with young ladies and they told even they cannot go outside without the men's permission in the household. So that is what, yeah, it is recommended, and assuming that Fergana Valley is kind of one of the traditional parts of Uzbekistan. So they are having a separate meetings with men and women are kind of also recommended.
Yeah. And I mean, just to also add on the seasonal calendar point, to add one more point on that, men and women will likely have different wages also, yeah? And we're trying to understand the wages in this situation. Do you have any follow-up, Andijan? Any follow-up? Do you want to follow up on this issue? Are you okay now? Or did that answer your question? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Men bu savolimni berganimni sababi, adashmasam, xotiram pand bermayotgan bo'lsa, biz o'qish avvalida o'sha qishloq infratuzilmasini rivojlantirish loyihasi doirasida yangi ish o'rinlari yaratiladigan obyektlar bilan shug'ullanamiz degan band bor edi. O'shani nazarda tutib, buni savolni bergan edim, lekin hozir javobni oldim. Rahmat.
So you are fine, or you have any more questions?
Hozircha savollarimizga javob oldik. Agar ruxsat bersangiz, Yo'lel aka savol tug'ilsa yana beramiz. Rahmat.
No, I mean, you need to decide, right? I mean, you need to decide, do you have any more questions or not? You either have questions now or you don't have any more questions. You can ask them later, but I mean, you're going to go to the field soon, yeah? Okay, so then we have Fergana. Fergana looks like they're waving. They have a question.
Assalomu alaykum. Brigita xonim, kechirasiz, mendan ozgina bitta savol bor edi, u ham bo'lsa taklif. Shu fuqarolar bilan bugungi mashg'ulotni o'tkazish jarayonida bir o'sha mana bu hamkasbimiz bergan savoldan kelib chiqib, savol tug'ilyaptiki, keyinchalik loyihani amalga oshirishda mana shu qo'l mehnati bilan yollanib mehnat qiladigan erkak odamlarni xizmatidan ham kontrakt bo'yicha foydalanishi mumkin degan bir ma'lumotni aytsak bo'ladimi? Masalan, qurilish ishlari bo'ladi, kovlash ishlari bo'ladi, qandaydir bir yordam berish, tashish ishlari bo'ladi o'sha jarayonlarda, shularda demoqchiman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's another important point you're raising. Thank you for raising this point. Because now where are the Andijan people? Are the Andijan people paying attention? No, I see two people at the Andijan table. Okay. So this question that was just raised by Fergana, are we going to involve the people that are unskilled manual laborers who work in agriculture in this project? The answer is yes. And to do that, you will need to know when they're actually free to work on your project, because our projects should not be competing for labor with people in agriculture, right? The number one priority in these villages is to harvest, right? The crops, not, right? So you have to schedule your construction work in a way that the labor people are actually free to work with you if you're building a school or a water network or a kindergarten or a clinic, right? You will have to make sure that people actually have time to work on that and they're not busy harvesting crops at the time. That's one point. But the other is, remember, you should be careful not to raise expectations. Let's say you're building a school in a village, right? Or let's say you're building a kindergarten or a clinic. You may not need as many people as are in this low income category to be laborers. Look at your data so far. Your numbers show that you have hundreds of families, right? Like 50% sometimes means like almost 300 households are in that low income category. But I'm pretty sure you will not have work for 300 men when you build a school, right? So what's going to happen is that we're going to probably have a lottery. We're probably going to have a lottery to say, all the people that are low income, we put your name into a hat and we only need 50 laborers and we're going to pull out 50 names out of the lottery, yeah? So be careful not to raise expectations today when you go to village and tell them, oh, we'll be having work for people, we'll be generating jobs and employment, right? Because then everyone is going to be expecting you to bring a lot of work. Also, there might be projects that will not provide a lot of work, right? Some projects you have will require a lot of labor and some will require less labor, okay? So you need to be careful. Don't create expectations. I think maybe I would not say that, that you're going to have jobs there, yeah? Because we don't really know how that's going to work yet. So I would be a little careful, okay? But yes, the idea is that the construction companies will use the well-being, the MDU will use the well-being analysis and use a lottery and identify low-income men or women, whoever can work, for the construction company to work. But how that's going to work and how many people, you don't know that. So I would be careful not to raise expectations. But thank you for this question. Also, okay. Also, I wanted to tell you, you may not have to do the seasonal calendar in every village you work. The idea is basically to just get a broad understanding of the region. It's pretty much the same in every village. People, pretty much grow the cotton exactly at the same time because it's based on climate, right? The weather, the local weather pattern. So if a village in one place has this seasonality of all the crops, you can imagine that all the villages in the surrounding area have the same seasonality of when they grow their rice and when they grow their cotton and when they grow the various things. So you may only have to do a seasonal calendar in one of your 6 villages, right? So that we don't waste time doing the same exercise over and over. But the most important is for us to understand basically the seasonality of work and how people are coping when they don't have income. Okay. Any other questions? Namangan doesn't have any questions? No. Okay. Okay. Do you want me to give you a little more time to discuss and see if you want to come back with questions, or are you feeling okay now?
Brigitta, let me clarify the one issue for my team. Total number of participants, 8 people, right?
6 to 8. 6 to 8.
And no MDU members.
Well, only if they are also, in that income category that they sell labor in agriculture, right? But theoretically, no, you don't have to have any there. Now, you're not going to tell them to leave if they would like to be there, right? I mean, they're welcome to sit and watch, but they cannot participate unless they are also a person who sells labor in agriculture, unskilled labor, right? Yeah. Yeah. But we're not sending them away if they're attending the meeting and they like to see what you're doing, that's fine.
Yitaxonim savol bor edi.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hozir mavsumiy kalendarimizni hozir tuzamiz. Bu faqat bitta qishloq uchunmi yoki masalan Andijon viloyati bo'ladigan bo'lsa, barcha viloyatlar uchun bir marta mavsumiy kalendar ishlab chiqsak bo'ladimi? Shuni so'ramoqchi edim. Oldindan rahmat.
No, for one Kishlak, you know how every one of you has 6 villages, right? Every team of one pair of Kishlak facilitator plus 1 engineer, you work in 6 villages, right? That's the ratio of your work. So you will only have to do this in one of each of your 6 villages. But when you're teaching, so every pair of facilitators should do the seasonal calendar in one of the 6 villages. That's what we agreed with the government of how we would do this. Is that clear? Because those villages are probably close enough. Unless your 6 villages are very far apart, which I doubt, then you may do it in more villages. But if they're relatively close and have the same cropping pattern, you only need to do it once for 6. Does that make sense? Okay. Any more questions from anybody? Okay, no, doesn't seem like. Okay, so let's just be clear. You do not have to set up a meeting for Sunday, right, in the village, because you are going to go, if you work Sunday, you will be doing the WBA verification, which means you go door to door, which you don't need any MDU members for that, right? Because you have the streets already, right? You have all the names organized into streets. So the MDU members are free on Sunday, giving them a break, which is also important. You are not discussing the well-being analysis today when you go. You're only focusing on the seasonal calendar. You can discuss the well-being analysis insofar as you may be marking some more MDU members in that, but you're not doing any verification today, or you're not sharing the well-being analysis with the whole group. We'll do that later, okay? Are there any more questions now on any other work you have to do? Otherwise, I'll let you go and rest a bit. Well, I think you have to leave soon. Oh no, you're leaving at 4, yeah. So I'll let you go and rest a little bit, an hour and a half. I think put it aside for now. If you've practiced it, you've read it, we've now discussed it, take a break, think about something else and relax a little bit. That's my suggestion to you. Okay? So we'll see you tomorrow morning. I can come in at 8, but I recommend that you start out by doing the same thing. You'll process how did it go, what went well, what didn't go well, and you'll actually make the calendars, the poster for us in the morning. And then I'll come in and work with you like I'll probably give you an hour and a half time. That should maybe do it. And I'll be there at 9:30 to check in with you. But just start working in the morning, please. And then we'll go and debrief everything and watch the video. And then I'll also help you with how you're going to do the verification on Sunday. Okay? Okay. In that case, then I'll let you go. I wish you good luck. Have a safe journey. And if there's something very, very urgent, Monojot knows how to text me. You can always text me and ask me. Okay? Okay, you guys. Bye.
Bye, Brigitte.
Okay. Thank you for the translation, both of you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye. Bye, Rame.